Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. How you doing?
All right, Judge. Judge, before we start, we had Ms. Bell Sarafina from yesterday. She's not on the list, but I brought her up this morning.
I don't have a, they didn't send it to work to me.
You didn't send it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Can you see if they can send it so we can, maybe we can do it last?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. How you doing?
All right.
You have Miss Bell.
I have let's see, Gibbs.
It was the young lady that was continued from yesterday from medical. He just said that he went and got her.
Yes, Judge. I'm trying to call intake to let them send you the paperwork.
Okay. Other than that, are you guys ready?
Read on the male side, Your Honor.
All right.
Read on the female side too, Judge.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started, and then if they have it before we finish, then I'll just print it out and we'll take care of it.
All right, Judge. Everybody stand up. Stand up.
All right, if everyone could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm any information that you tell the court today will be the truth to the best of your ability? If so, please say I do and lower your hands.
I do.
All right, thank you. All right, so good morning. This is Clayton County Magistrate Court. You can put your hands down. This is Clayton County Magistrate Court. And so essentially, the only purpose that today is for me to let you know what you're charged with and what your bond is, if you have a bond set. We're not here to take a plea or to try your case today. It's only just to let you know what you're charged with and whether you have a bond set. So everyone would have a choice to make whether or not you will want to have a preliminary hearing, or if you would like to waive your case either to state court if you're charged with misdemeanors only, or to superior court if you're charged with felony. What a preliminary hearing is an opportunity for you to have the state prove that it's probable that the crimes that you're accused of committing actually occurred. The standard is probable, that it probably occurred. It's a very low burden for a preliminary hearing. If you decide you want to keep your preliminary hearing, I can tell you now what your next court date will be. If you're charged with a misdemeanor, your court date will be April the 27th. And if you're charged with felony, you'll be in court on April the 28th. You can, however, decide that you want to waive your right to have a preliminary hearing. If you do so and you're unable to make your bond, then your next court date will be in 7 to 10 business days. So if you're unable to make your bond and you decided you want to waive your preliminary hearing, then you'll be in court within 7 to 10 days. If you decide that you like to keep your preliminary hearing and you don't make your bond, you'll be in court on the dates that I just told you. Misdemeanors, April 27th, felonies, April 28th. That'll be the next time you have a court date if you don't make your bond. With that being said, if you are given a bond, there are different types, unrestricted bonds and restricted bonds. A restricted bonds means that your bond has conditions that prohibit you from contacting a certain person or going to a certain place. If you violate the court's order and go to a place I've told you not to return to, or contact a person that I told you not to have contact with while you're on this bond, then this bond will be revoked. And you can be charged with aggravated stalking, in which you won't be entitled to a bond at all. And you have to wait for your court date, your actual trial date, to get out if you violate the court's bond condition. There are 3 different ways you can post bond. One is through an actual bonding company. They take 10 to 15% of the total bond amount to bond you out. That 10 to 15% is the money they charge in order to bond you out. You don't get that 10 or 15% back. Your other option is to post a bond through cash directly to the sheriff's department. Once the case is concluded, you'll get that cash back, minus whatever administrative fees that are attached to it. And the final option is you can post a property bond. If you decide to do a property bond, the property has to have 3 times the equity amount in the property in order for that to secure your release from jail. If you're on active probation or parole, the court is not authorized to set a bond in your case. And if that's the case, your probation officer will meet with you to figure out what to go through next. If you post your bond and you decide that you want to have a preliminary hearing, that hearing is going to be automatically waived. And you'll receive notice when next come back to court. With that being said, we'll get started with the females. Ms. Gibbs, you're up first.
Everybody have a seat.
Do you not speak English? Sit down.
Sit down. Sit down. Judge, you ready for the females?
Yes, sir, I'm ready for Ms. Gibbs first.
Come on. Start right there.
All right, Ms. Gibbs, you've been charged with a false statement. Your bond is $5,000. Would you like to waive it? Would you want to keep your preliminary hearing?
Keep my preliminary hearing.
You said you like to keep it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in that case, your court date will be April 28th. I've reviewed your application for an attorney and if I've approved it, so you'll have an attorney appointed to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Ms. Harris, Sophia Harris.
Miss Harris, all right, Harris,
Ms. Harris, you've been charged with theft of slave property. Your bond is $2,000 and given a false name is $2,000. The total bond is $4,000. You have special unless you are a ticketed passenger. Keep your preliminary hearing. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
It doesn't matter. I can waive it or keep it.
It's up to you. Do you want to waive it or you want to keep it?
Well, if I waive it, wouldn't it take longer? It'll take longer actually, right?
No, if you waive it, it's quick. If you keep it, it's gonna be April the 27th. If you waive it, it'll be 7 to 10 days when you're next be in court if you don't make your bond.
I'll just waive it.
Okay, so make sure you complete the waiver form. How much money do you make a month, Ms. Harris? You didn't complete your form.
Okay.
How much money, do you have a job? Okay, all right, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Fill out the waiver form, make sure I can read your name. Thank you. Ms. Hughes?
Yes, ma'am.
Come on.
I can hear the judge. I'm trying to hear her. Y'all got a lot of noise in jail from Virginia. How we doing, Judge?
That's 24. It's not right there.
Ms. Hughes, good morning. How you doing?
All right, yourself.
I'm all right. You've been charged with criminal trespass, a bond of 2,000, possession of less than 1 ounce of marijuana is 1,500. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
Waiver doesn't necessarily mean to stay incarcerated if I were to waive the marijuana charge because it's not my charge at all. It's not my marijuana.
So you want to keep your preliminary hearing?
Yeah, but is that able to waive, but I would have to stay incarcerated if I waive that marijuana charge? I don't have drug charges and I don't like to have one. It's not my marijuana. It's
No,
the guy that was locked up with me or his friend.
Yeah, so either you want to waive your case and resolve it quicker, or you want to have your preliminary hearing, which should be April the 27th.
I would like to resolve that case, that waiving, that the marijuana part.
You have to
That's not mine.
You have to do both the charges.
At the same time, so I can stay incarcerated, because I was asking to do that, I'm not sure, certain.
You can post bond today and your bond is set.
But I said for marijuana, see, that's what I'm saying, that's not my charge, so what can I do about that?
Yeah, that's in the beginning. Remember I said I'm not here to have a trial or to take a plea. I'm just telling you what you're charged with, and you have a right to have a trial to have them prove that it was your marijuana. So at this point, you need to decide whether you want to, neither one of these waive your right to having a trial. One is just a preliminary hearing. Do you want to keep your hearing or would you like to waive this case? We're going to keep your preliminary hearing. I've appointed an attorney to represent you. And so your court date is going to be April the 27th.
Okay, so when the next time will I return to court? I mean, I have to stay here on a bond?
You can bond out today. Your bond is set.
What's my bond? I
3,000.
don't have no money, so I can't get a restricted bond. You were saying
$3,500.
it's $10,000, is that $100?
Your total bond is $3,500. So it takes 15% through a bonding company.
Oh, I don't know what that is. Yeah.
All right, come on this way. Come on,
I just thought you said you get a restricted
come on, let's
bond.
go. Come on.
You said what?
Yeah, I thought you said you can get a restricted bond. You can do that. Talk to the judge. I thought you can get a restricted bond or something like that.
No, restricted bonds mean you have conditions not to go somewhere. You don't have a restricted bond. Your bond is $3,500. It's gonna take about $400 to get out if you go through.
So how long if I don't bond, will I have to stay in jail? Because I know you the judge, you know them I can ask.
No, so if you don't make your bonds, you'll be there until your case is resolved.
Until the case is resolved. So how long would I have to be in jail if I'm not bonding, I have no money?
The lawyer, either it's gonna be the 27th if your lawyer didn't come and have you waive the case.
Okay, all right, so that'd be April.
Yeah, somebody's gonna come see you this week. I gave you a lawyer.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
I'm touching it. I'm not even fucking touch. I don't know why I do it, but it's really touching.
Ms. Jackson,
Come on, man.
Ms. Jackson, did you complete court appointed attorney form?
Is that that form he gave us?
Yeah, the one that you got your information from? Okay. Okay. All right, Ms. Jackson, you've been charged with, that bond is $5,000. Criminal trespass to damage your property is $2,000. Harassing phone calls is $1,000. You do have special conditions on your bond. You cannot have any contact with guarantee.
Which, do I have to post all bonds to get out or just one of them?
So your total is $8,000. So you have to, if you go through a bonding company, it's gonna be 15% of the $8,000 to get out.
So that's like $1,000.
Yeah, maybe so, a little less. Do you want to waive it? Would you like to keep your preliminary hearing?
I would like to keep it.
Okay, so that's gonna be set for, misdemeanors, yes. It'll be April the 27th. And based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you.
You want to what?
I've appointed an attorney to represent you based on your application.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Take care.
Who's the next guy?
It would be Ms. Mahone.
Come on.
Good morning.
Good morning, just a moment. All right, Ms. Mahone, you've been charged with DUI. Let's say your bond is $500, improper backing is $500, and open container is $500. So your total bond is $6,000. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
Keep my preliminary here. How much it cost to get out?
It would probably be about 6,000, $650 to $700.
Okay, ma'am.
It'll be April the 27th. And based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you.
Okay, that's when I come back to court?
Yes, that'll be your next court date if you don't bond out.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
One moment.
Huh?
One moment, please.
Okay.
Oh, you want to use it, right? When you finish, you just go.
I'm gonna take one. Ooh.
Okay. When you finish, you go.
Oh, we on YouTube for real. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I got 5 girls and 3 granddaughters.
You can go back and pull it up by the day.
My kids gonna see this. What's wrong with her?
Yeah, I get myself. Me too, please. I don't think you can do that. I'm gonna work that. Yeah, big fact. I'm
Okay. So I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Did you have any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
You have a great day.
Ms. Stevens?
Back to the part.
Who do you have there? Stevens. Come on, Stevens.
No. This is not how this is going on.
How you doing, Judge?
How you doing, Ms. Stevens?
I need to hear from.
Ms. Stevens, you've been charged with DUI. That bond is $5,000. Improper lane change is $500. And violation of the seatbelt law is $500. So the total bond is $6,000. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary?
The preliminary hearing.
Did you want to keep it?
The 27th. You said for the 27th? Yes.
Yeah, it'll be on the 27th. Okay. I've appointed an attorney to represent you. I've completed the paperwork. If you make your bond, you won't have court on that date. They'll send you notice and mail to come back. All right, thank you.
I don't feel comfortable with her presence, that lady. Is he gonna fix me back here? 'Cause I'm not going with her. No way. No way.
Miss Tittle, come on, right ahead.
Ms. Tittle?
I go out the
Yeah,
door.
she's coming first.
Ms. Tittle, you've been charged with theft by deception. That bond is $2,000. Theft by shoplifting is $2,000. Criminal trespass is $2,000. So your total bond is $6,000. You have special conditions. You cannot return to the Walmart located at 11449 Terrell Boulevard in Lovejoy, Georgia. Do you understand the conditions of your bond?
Yes.
Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
Waive it.
Based on your application,
Back your ass up. Get your
represent you,
back.
please complete the
Black.
form before you make sure I
Black, black.
can.
My mother got raped.
I'm sorry, you're on, you said what you
I said, make sure you complete the waiver form.
said? Yeah, I did.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She needs to finish that waiver form.
The waiver form?
Yeah, Miss Little, Miss Tittle.
Okay. Judge, we have now is Ms. Bell.
They haven't sent me the paperwork, so when I'll start the meeting, and when they send it to me.
Okay, Judge. All right.
All right, you have Mr. Anderson.
Anderson, yes.
Hello, Mr. Anderson. You've been charged with battery. That bond is 5,000. Cruelty to children in the third degree is 2,000. You have special conditions. You can't have any contact with Carmelita Wilson. Do you understand the conditions of your bond?
Yes,
Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
I'll keep it.
All right. It's scheduled for April the 27th. If you make your bond, you won't have this court date. They'll send you notice when to come back to court. I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No,
All right, thank you. Mr. Anye Wu. Mr. Anye Wu, you've been charged with crossing a roadway other than a crosswalk. That bond is 500. Obstructing a law enforcement officer is 2,000. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing? I didn't hear what you said. You have to speak up, Mr. Anye Wu. I can't hear you.
whatever, keep it. I keep it.
All right. Your preliminary hearing is scheduled for April the 28th. I've appointed an attorney to represent you, sir. Thank you.
All right, go back to your phone. Come on.
Good morning, George.
Good morning.
Tell me your name.
George, my name is Julian Berry. Need some treatment if you know of any treatment centers too, that'd be nice.
I'm
Never
sorry.
had. I need some treatment centers if you can recommend some as well. Cause I never had any.
When, let me see. Are you gonna hire your own attorney, or you want to be considered to have an attorney appointed?
I have one appointed for now, but when I get out today, I'll talk to my family lawyer.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So you let whoever your attorney ends up being, let them know so they can refer you to the drug treatment court.
Thank you.
So that's the person that has to refer you to it for you to be considered for it.
Oh, okay, I see, okay.
All right. So for the parking charge, the bond is 500. For the two possession charges is 10,000, and use of possession of drug-related objects is 500. So your total bond is 21,000. Do you want to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
Keep.
Okay, it'll be set for April the 28th.
So it's 21,000, so that means like 2,500, 2,500.
Yes.
Can I bond myself out?
I don't know, you would have to have a cash total with
Like
you.
21,000 cash or just a 21,000 cash?
If you're using the percentage, if you're doing 2,500, it has to go through a bonding company. So that means somebody else would have to do it because you're in custody. So you couldn't do it physically.
Okay, okay,
So you just have to give them access to get your money to bond you out.
okay.
So the court date is going to be on the 28th, and I've appointed an attorney to represent.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah,
ma'am.
you're welcome.
All right.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning.
Tell me your name.
Michael Bender.
Board, you next, and then.
All right, Mr. Binder.
Yes, ma'am.
You've been charged with battery. The bond is $4,000. You have special conditions. You're prohibited from having contact with Danielle Page. You cannot go back to 507 E2 Georgia Avenue in Forest Park. If you have any personal property there, you have 10 days from your release from the sheriff's office to go and retrieve any undisputed personal property.
I'm sorry, no, sorry to disrupt you. 507 Georgia Avenue is that's where I live. That's my apartment complex, that's where I live. Danielle Page was just living with me.
Okay, so I'm not saying that what you're saying is not true, but there's nobody here one way or the other to let me know that. So what you're gonna have to do is have give like your lease or whatever to your attorney, then they'll bring it to the prosecutor's office so we can change it to where you're not prohibited from going there. Unfortunately, when it's this early, I don't have any facts. I don't know one way or the other. So in order to keep the peace, somebody has to stay away until it can be sorted out. So when you release, then you need to make sure immediately let your lawyer come and change the bond conditions so you can go back there. So I don't know if she's there or not, but if you go back and the police see you, then they'll arrest you because your bond says you can't go there.
And that's where I live. That's my apartment complex.
That's what I'm saying, Mr. Binder. I don't know that. I hear what you're saying, but somebody else may say something differently. So your lawyer, we do it all the time. Your lawyer will show the prosecutor the lease, and they'll say change his bond condition, and we change it.
Okay, so how much is my bond? I'm sorry.
$4,000 total. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
What does that mean? I'm sorry.
Okay, so since you don't understand it, we're going to keep the date. So you're not going to waive your right to it. You can always waive it later. It's going to be on the 27th of April. If you make your bond, you won't have that court date. And if you don't make bond, a lawyer will be there in a few days to meet with you. And if not, then they'll be in contact with you when the court date comes up.
Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
Good morning.
Tell your name.
Here,
Here you do that, man. Just tell her your name.
on the morning,
Demario Boykin.
Boykin.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, one moment.
Mr. Clayton. Oh, Brian, Marcus.
All right, Mr. Boykin, you were charged with open container violation. Based on a warrantless arrest affidavit, I denied the charge, so your charge has been dismissed.
So I can go?
Yeah.
Say that again?
Your charge has been dismissed. There's insufficient probable cause.
Bye-bye.
You going home? Yeah, you good to go home?
Your charge is dismissed.
Hallelujah.
Next. No, you can't leave right now. They gotta get the paperwork.
Marcus Bryant.
Hey. What color you in? What color? What color you in?
Mr. Brian, did you complete a court-appointed attorney form?
No, ma'am, I don't need one. I did. I need it though.
You said you did. I don't see one. You didn't do it.
I did. I filled out a form just now, but I do not need a court-appointed attorney.
No problem. All right, so you've been charged with possession of marijuana. That bond is $1,500. Obstructing a law enforcement officer is $3,000. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
Keep it.
All right, it's going to be set for April the 27th. If you make your bond, you won't have that court date. They'll send you notice when to come back to court. Thank you.
Thank you.
One finish, the next one come up.
Mr. Clayton.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Clayton, you've been charged with criminal trespass. The bond is $2,000. Obstructing a law enforcement officer is $2,000. So your total bond is $4,000. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
I'd like to wait.
Okay. And while you're on the bond, you're not allowed to go back to the location of 7694 Terra Boulevard. You understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I've appointed an attorney to represent you. If you don't make your bond, they'll be meeting with you really soon, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Anthony Harrell.
Just a moment.
Jonathan came in here. Live.
Okay, Mr. Harrell, you've been charged with 2 counts of violation of the Georgia Controlled Substance Act. Each of those counts is $5,000, and possession of use of drug-related objects is $1,000. So your total bond is $11,000. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
I'm gonna keep it.
All right, the court date is going to be April the 28th, and I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
Ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Tell your name. Good morning, Judge. And I Kevin. I'm here.
All right, Mr. Hewlett, you're charged with criminal trespass. That bond is $3,000. Terroristic threats and acts is $5,000. Your total bond is $8,000. You do have special conditions. You can't have any contact with Janetta Houston. You can not go back to 1048 Flash Shows Row, apartment 705 in College Park. Do you understand the conditions of your bond?
Yes.
All right, would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
Keep it.
It'll be April the 28th. And if you make your bond, you won't have that court date. They'll give you notice when to come back to court. Based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, keep on going.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Keep going. Tell your name. Deontay Jones.
All right, Mr. Jones, you've been charged with terroristic threats or acts. That bond is $5,000. Simple battery is $3,000. Criminal damage in the second degree is $2,000. So your total bond is $10,000. You have special conditions. You can't have any contact with Alicia Gatlin or Shakiria Alice. Do you understand that, sir?
Ma'am, excuse me. Is there any way that you can recommend me into the mental health court? Because I am mental health status, and I tried to go get some help, and Clayton County Department refused me of going to the hospital to go and get some help, to try to help me out to get back on, to get the help that I need, because this was causing a conflict in my life right now.
Okay, so Mr. Jones, I have appointed an attorney to represent you. That person is going to recommend that you get whatever services that you need. At first appearance, I'm not in a position to do it. We don't have a system set up like that. But I made a note on your form for the attorney that that's what you requested. So your next court date is on the 28th. And if you don't make your bond, they'll be over there to meet with you sometime this coming.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Your Honor,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson and Jones, Rodney Jones, they paperwork just been, we just really brought them down here. So, but they here. You want to see them now? You want to wait till you see it?
Is it Antoine Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
I have his paperwork.
Okay.
And then you said the other one was who?
Rodney Jones.
I don't have Jones.
Okay, the deputy headed up there now to fax you that paperwork.
Okay. Oh, you said Jones? Yeah, I have Jones. I have Jones. Deontay Jones? No, did
him. This one, Rodney Jones.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have Rodney. Oh, yes, I do. I have Rodney Jones.
Okay, he'll be after this one.
Okay. So what's your name, sir?
Antoine Odell Jackson.
Oh, okay.
You doing all right today?
Yes, how about,
You know, no complaints, I'm breathing.
all right, 1 second. All right, so Mr. Johnson, you've been charged with 2 counts of possession of violating the Georgia Controlled Substance Act, 1 count of violation with the intent to distribute, and possession of drug-related objects. On the possession charges, 5,000 each. On the intent to distribute is 10,000, and possession of drug-related objects is 1,000. So your total bond is $21,000. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
I would like to keep it.
Okay. The court date is going to be on April the 28th. You didn't complete that court-appointed attorney form?
You said, did I complete it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did.
You just can't, right?
Oh, that's right. So you didn't make the stat. Did you want to be considered? How much money you making money?
Maybe like $3,000.
Okay, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Your court date is going to be on the 28th. You have any questions?
Yes, I do.
What's your question?
Is there any way I can get my bond lowered? Anyway, Your Honor, you know, I'm not a violent person. I'm not this person that they're making me out to be. I'm just, you know, wrong person, wrong place, wrong time. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know one way or the other, but that's just I gave you the rock bottom for intent to distribute and drug charges. It's 10,000 on intent to distribute.
I know, but I'm broke. If I was actually that person, you know, with all those trumped up charges, I wouldn't even be complaining, Your Honor. You know, I just really need to. I got kids, and you know, I really need to be there for my kids.
I don't doubt that, Mr. Johnson. So it can at a different time, but not today. It won't be lowered. But that's not to say that it can't be lowered. Your lawyer can get a consent bond from the DA's office, and they can agree to lower it. But at today, for first appearance, that's what it's going to be for now.
All right, I appreciate you.
All right, take care.
All right.
Tell me your name.
Right, Jones.
You guys know what?
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Jones.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Rodney Jones.
Mr. Jones, you have a similar charge. I'm assuming you all were in the same place. Your 2 possession charges are 5,000 each. The intent to distribute is 10,000. Possession of a weapon during commission of the crime is 3,000. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon is 5,000. And possession of drug-related object is 1,000. So your total bond is $29,000. Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
I want to keep my preliminary hearing, ma'am. And I have a question because I'm not a convicted felon and they got me charged with my firearm as a convicted felon. It was actually registered to me. And I believe that was their probable cause in the case.
I reviewed it, on your GCIC, you on some kind of, I saw something on there.
My first offender, I completed it. I turned in my paperwork to get it closed. Anytime I talk to Fulton County about it, they say they can't even find the case.
I don't doubt this. So, but when I just review what I have, and
Yes.
I have to go on that. And so if it's in fact what you're saying is true, then your attorney can get that charge dismissed. But I can't do that today based on the information that I have.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So I'm gonna set your preliminary hearing date, and I guess there's some, you filled out that court appointed form, but you got there late, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so how much do you make a month?
I'm currently unemployed.
Okay, so based on that information, I'll appoint an attorney to represent you, and you let them know about your first offender and all that stuff, so they can take care of that charge for you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Tell me your name.
Joshua, right, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Yes, sir. Oh, hold on, Mr. Locke.
All right. Hello.
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Hey, Judge, okay, I talked to the clerk, I sent you a message that they already faxed you the paperwork for Ms. Bell.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna have to, I'll take care of him, and then I'll get to Ms. Bell.
All right, man, thank you.
All right, Mr. Locke, are you Mr. Locke?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you've been charged with possession of marijuana less than 1 ounce. Bond is $1,500. Obstructing a law enforcement officer is $2,000. You want to waive or you want to keep your preliminary hearing?
Keith,
All right, your preliminary hearing date is going to be April the 27th. Based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
thank you. So how much would it be for me to get out? About
About
$400?
$400.
All right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. So let me, stop and let me print out the paperwork for the female, then I'll be right back with the males.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, you have Ms. Bell now?
Judge, she's coming.
Okay.
Ms. Bell's not right there.
I resolved my family
Be
violence
quiet. Just listen to the
issue,
judge. Ms. Bell, be quiet. Listen to the
and
judge.
my sister was upset that I was trying to move on from the home. And I told her that me and her both are together taking care of these kids. So she told me, you going to jail, you going to jail. And I was like, why? Because I didn't talk to your man. She's mad because her man.
Ms. Bell, listen to the judge.
Okay.
Listen to the judge.
So I don't know if you were here in the beginning, but I'm not here to try the case or take a plea or try to resolve it. I'm just gonna let you know what you're charged with and how much your bond is so you can bond out. So on battery, your bond is $3,000. Cruelty to children is $2,000. You have a special
Hold
condition.
on. I never received this information when the last filing, the family
Ms. Bell,
violence.
listen, Judge, Ms. Bell, put on your mask. Listen to the judge. Do not talk over the judge, okay? Just listen to the judge, all right? Are we cool with that? All right. Judge, go ahead.
Okay, so Ms. Bell, don't interrupt me again. When I finish, you can ask a question if you have one. But as far as your bond is concerned, you're not allowed to have any contact with Tamara Bell while you're out on this bond.
I didn't contact her at all. Where did you get that information?
Listen, Ms. Bell. Don't interrupt the judge one more time, I'm telling you, okay?
If she interrupts me again, I'm just gonna hold her in contempt of court. So I'm gonna set your case for a preliminary hearing on April the 27th.
You gotta stop there. I'm not trying to argue with you.
Thank you, Ms. Bell. She's finished, it's done.
All right, come on this way, come on this way.
I don't wanna go back to jail.
You're not going back.
I don't wanna go back to jail. Where I'm going?
All right.
You ready for the mayor's Your Honor?
You ready?
Come on up. This next one in the wheelchair, Your Honor, so I'm gonna try to point it.
Is that Mr. Mason?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Can you see it? Good.
All right, Mr. Mason, you've been charged with aggravated assault. Your bond has been denied. Your case is set for a preliminary hearing date on April the 28th, and I've appointed an attorney to represent you.
Okay.
All right, did you have any questions, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Next. You all right? Can you stand up? Yeah. You got a bad leg? Yeah. Okay, I'm okay. Tell her your name.
Mr. Milner, you've been charged with aggravated assault. Your bond has been denied. Your preliminary hearing is on April the 28th, and I've appointed an attorney to represent you.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Just have a seat right there. What does that mean, bond denied? That
If
means
you don't have a bond set in your case based on the allegations,
you understand?
No,
you don't have a bond set, you're unable to make bond out of jail based on the allegations.
thank you.
Next.
Good morning, Your Honor. How you doing?
Good morning. 1 second, please.
She already told.
All right, are you Mr. Redding?
Yes, ma'am, I am. How you doing?
All right.
Mike?
You've been charged with 2 counts of possession of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. Those funds are $5,000 each count, $10,000 on intent to distribute, and $1,000 on possession of drug-related objects. So your total bond is $21,000. Do you want to waive or you want to keep your preliminary hearing?
Keep my preliminary hearing.
So your preliminary hearing date is going to be April the 28th. Based on this application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you.
All right, thank you so much, man.
You're welcome.
Next.
You all right? What's your charge?
What's your name, sir?
Jermaine Robinson.
Mr. Robinson, you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery. Your bond is $5,000. You do have a special condition. You can't have any contact with Aja Sloan. Do you understand your condition?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want a waiver? You want to keep your preliminary hearing?
Keep my preliminary in.
All right, it's gonna be on the 27th of April. If you make your bond, that preliminary hearing court date won't happen, and you'll get notice when to come back to court. Are you gonna hire your own attorney?
I want to get appointed one and try to get out there and talk to my family. My family lawyer.
How much money you make a month?
I'm a truck driver, so it varies.
What's your average?
My average, about 75.
You make too much money to have the court appoint you one, so you're gonna have to hire one when you get out. Okay?
I don't have the money to hire one right now.
Are you working?
It's been more. I just got bills, a whole bunch of bills.
You just come back for $6,000, right? This paperwork says $6,500.
Yes, ma'am.
I can't appoint an attorney to you. You make too much money.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, how you doing?
Racia Summerlin?
Okay, one moment. Mr. Sumlin, you've been charged with loitering. The bond is 1,000. You cannot return to 7828 North Main Street in Jonesboro. You understand that, sir?
Yes.
All right. Do you want to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
I can keep it.
Okay. It'll be the 27th of April. And I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
What is my bond again?
$1,000.
$1,000?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
What's your name, sir?
Wilson.
Mr. Wilson, you've been charged with theft by deception. That bond is 2,000. Criminal trespass is 2,000. You have special conditions. You can't go back to the Walmart Lovejoy at 11449 Ontario Boulevard. You understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
Keep it.
All right, it'll be April the 27th. I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello, what's your name?
Darius Woods.
All right, one moment. Right, Mr. Woods, you've been charged with improper lane change. The bond is 500. 2 counts of child restraint violation is 500 on each count. Possession of less than 1 ounce of marijuana is 1,500, and use of drug-related objects is 1,000. Your total bond is $4,000. You want to waive or keep your preliminary hearing?
Keep.
All right, your court date is going to be on the April the 27th. Based on your application, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, Your Honor, that's it.
All right, thank you.
You have a good day.
You too.